This conference will now be recorded.
All right, so today is Wednesday, October 30th, and as always, everything that we're going to be talking about today is for educational purposes only, and nothing is intended as any type of investment advice. All right, guys, so we got 2 days left of October. Unfortunately, these 2 days are probably going to be a little bit slow. So the one thing is that today we do have the FOMC meeting, which is, really kind of kills things pretty much at 10:30 until 2 o'clock. But then at 2 o'clock, we usually get a nice little burst. And then obviously tomorrow is Halloween, which does take a lot of people away from their trading computers. So probably not going to be the most invigorating 2 days, but there certainly will be some stuff out there. So we have a pretty decent list coming into this morning. First thing I'm going to be looking at is PCG. So obviously, this is one of those cheap stocks that this isn't 15 minutes of fame. Technically, it would be fame. It would really be more to something on the negative side, but it's just continuously moving. And we're talking about $5, $6 stock that's been giving us pretty much at least $1 every single day. So I'm obviously going to have to keep this thing on our list. Coming into that 6 level, we definitely got some nice new buying that came in there. Not as much as you would have expected, though, especially at the actual 6 itself. I would have, like I said, I just would have expected a lot more to come in at that level. You can see right here that a lot of it was really selling based off of the actual controlling prints themselves. You can see, a little burst here, a little burst there. But the first time that it did come up earlier this morning, it's not going to let me go all the way back. We did have a little bit more buying than we did on that second time. So we just want to continuously see that coming into 6, because remember, it's trading 3.4 million shares already. We're going to get pretty much a mix at every single level. So it's really going to have to follow what the story is, especially from yesterday. All the buying that we saw coming back in, this thing popping up is not shocking at all. So overall, right now, showing the new buying to be able to get back up towards this double top. Just need to see it continue. Next thing is GE. So GE, this is another one, a real cheap stock, beautiful move this morning from 9 all the way up to pretty much almost 10. But once again, the thing that we're really looking for is that new buying, and we're certainly got it in some places, but unfortunately, if you look at right before 8, just a lot of money was coming out of this thing underneath this 10 level. And obviously 10 is going to be a pretty hard level for this thing to be able to beat, break, and really beat, and can be able to continue on from. So I'm not sold at all yet. Based off of the buying that we have in here. Yes, of course, GE is not going to move like this pretty much for anything besides something that's huge, some type of huge news or earnings. So overall, like I said, coming up to that 10, I just haven't seen the new buying there for us to be able to break. So it really looks like we're going to have a pretty strong resistance. Next thing looking at is BYND. Obviously, from yesterday, we're still going to keep this thing on our list. Huge range, harder stock to trade. And remember what we talked about yesterday in our Traders Exchange. Game plan. What's your game plan? Now, if your game plan is to make 20 cents today, BYND probably should stay away from, because it's not that type of stock. If your game plan is to make as many dollars and cents as you possibly can on each trade, high percentage trade that you see, this is certainly something that we're going to be looking at. Now, hasn't really given any great prints this morning, really no show of hand at all. We just know it's going to move. So once we get that show of hand, certainly going to be honing in on that one. Next one, Grub from yesterday. So Grub is, continuing on its way down. Whatever happened in earnings, just definitely not happy. But one thing looking at this morning is I just have seen nothing but on the bigger print side, nothing but buying. I mean, there's not a lot of buying that's out there, but just not really anything besides that buying. And remember yesterday having such a huge volume day towards that downside, a lot of times we see that spike end up coming up, and that buying is really showing it as we're coming in. Now, first price target would be 33 right here, where we have our resistance from the aftermarket, as well as where we started off this morning. And then from there, we would be looking to get up towards that 35. Next thing, Mattel. So obviously earnings as well because of the jump that it had. Cheaper stock, and this is on the bottom of my regular. It's not a side list stock because it is going to give us a more than 50-cent move based off of what it typically does. But it's at the bottom of my list, and the reason being, it's a very hard stock to really get that show of hand that's just completely definitive, and we just haven't got that this morning at all. You can see coming into that 12 level, we did yesterday, at 4 o'clock, we did get, some prints in there, but ever since, coming into this morning, not really much there. So we need a better, a real definitive show of hand to get in on this, but this is going to be a nice, should be a nice, more controllable, easier stock to trade, definitely towards the lower side of the trading spectrum. And then on my side list, I have AMAG. So AMAG, really not much going on yet. You could see, I mean, its average isn't there yet for some odd reason. Well, obviously because not 90 days, but coming into here, there's not much there yet, but it's shortable. So either way that this thing chooses to go, either way it decides to go, we get, we're going to be able to trade it. So let's take a look at that 950. 950 is completely mixed. We started off 2 bids. We had 3 asks that came in right afterwards. That 10 level has 1 ask print up above, which is just not going to do it. So hasn't really given that show of hand yet, but I am going to be watching very closely because, like I said, first of all, you can short it and you can go long. So no matter what it decides to do, whatever show of hand it gives, it just hasn't given it yet, but whenever it does decide to give that show of hand, we will be able to trade it. And other than that, that's pretty much it. Don't really have anything else. Now, anything else out there that I missed? Not a bad list at all. We are in a few of the stocks though going to be waiting for some type of real show of hand to come into there. All right, guys, so let's get ready for our morning. Remember, we talked about yesterday, figure out what is your game plan? What are you trying to accomplish this morning? And then pick the stocks within our list that are going to directly help get you to your game plan in the best way possible. Also, make sure that we're going over our Post-it notes, any type of weaknesses that we have. Let's start with the one that's going to affect our trading the greatest and then move down from there. All right, guys, I will talk to everyone in the chat and happy trading.